Live from Indianapolis, Indiana, welcome to the Crossroads Sports Radio Show, presented by Scott K. Nichols and State Farm Insurance. And now, here's your hosts, Brandon Reef and Jonathan Birdsong.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Crossroads Sports Radio, episode number 189. I'm your host, Brandon Reef, joined as always by my main man, Jonathan Birdsong. JB, how are you?
Dude, what's going on? What's going on, Crossroads listening audience? Man, it's been a minute. Feels like it's been like a month. It's been like 2 weeks since we last kind of chatted up with the folks tonight, man. But no, I'm excited to be back, Brandon. I know we got a lot of things to talk about on the docket. So without further ado, man, give us the rundown.
Yeah, absolutely. We got a big show this evening. NFL talk, news and notes from around the league. Quick recap on the Indianapolis Colts and Jacksonville Jaguars game from Sunday. A look ahead for the Colts. I've got some talk about the league itself as teams, contenders, pretenders, and kind of where the league is going as we are into the second half of the season now. All college football talk. Kind of we get our rankings again tonight at 7. So we'll probably talk college football around 7. To kind of give our talk. We have Tanner's picks for this week. We'll do our picks. And then as well, like we did last time, when the rankings come out, we will talk about those rankings this evening. I believe it is 7 o'clock that those rankings will be coming out with the college football playoff. NBA talk, John. We've got contenders, pretenders in the NBA right now, kind of look where the league is sitting at, as well as Indiana Pacers talk. Pacers had a game last night against the New York Knicks. A little bit of college basketball, John. College basketball has hit, so we'll talk a little bit about college basketball. Take your guys' calls and more. We got the Boilermakers. We got the Hoosiers. Both teams are in action this week. Boilermakers tonight here at 7 o'clock. And the Hoosiers have a big one tomorrow night against St. John's. So we'll talk a little bit about that. Without further ado, I guess we'll start off. With NFL. Before I go to NFL real quick, I do want to do some thoughts and prayers and such for my family. It's been a rough week for my family in general, John. I've had two close people to my family have passed away in the last 90 some hours or so. So it's been a rough week I was sick on top of that, so sick, and then dealing with those two losses. But I do want to say this show is in memory of Joe Clausen, one of the biggest Indiana Hoosiers fans that I have known. I hate to say as much as I hate IU, but one of the biggest Hoosier fans. Always loved chatting it up with him. Indianapolis Colts, you name it. We talked sports. Long but not gone but not forgotten. So this show is in memorial to him for that. So let's talk about his favorite team to start out. Let's talk Indianapolis Colts, John. Colts and Jaguars. They played Sunday. Colts started out with a huge lead, 17-0. I believe we've seen this storm before. They had the same thing they did against Tennessee Titans when the Titans came back. But Colts special teams with the block punt to score the first touchdown. And then Jonathan Taylor running the ball. Jonathan Taylor's having an MVP-type season. Colts win, John. They moved to 5-5 now on the season. Kind of sitting where, some of us thought after 10 games they would be at. They got two tough ones coming up, at Buffalo and home against Tampa Bay. But, John, thoughts on against the Jaguars? Jaguars tried to make it a game late.
Yeah, you can see how special Trevor Lawrence is going to be once that team kind of fills out around him, once they get a defense down. What we can credit Urban Meyer for doing, he kind of did out Coach Frank Reich in the second half, and he adjusted to Jonathan Taylor's, basically torturing him and scorching him on the ground. Some of the holes and some of the push that the Colts got for Jonathan Taylor in the first half were there in the second half, and that's what basically kind of got them into the game. Again, it's still, that team is still a little talent deprived offensively. They don't have everything that they necessarily need. Explosiveness at the tight end, explosiveness at the wide receiver position. And definitely, they need depth defensively. So, but from the Colts side, they get dude, Brandon. My Colts Twitter line, I follow a bunch of those public culture guys, right? And I follow a lot of Colts fans, man. And dude, they were blaming the defense, and and until that late fumble, punch out recovery, I kind of went back on there and man, all you folks need to basically, kind of eat your words, and delete those tweets, right? About calling the Colts defense, man, lackluster or piss poor. I mean, I'm just going by what folks were saying, man. You got to understand, anybody, all those who listen to my voice, can the Colts secondary be better? Absolutely. I'll be the first one to say that it's a little banged up, right? As we all know, we got guys out, we got guys who are retiring through and playing as well. But could it be better? Sure. But yeah. Brent, as you watch a ton of football, as we all know, for many years, I don't want to tell you the age or whatever over the airways, or whatever. But both of us probably put together have watched, over 30 years of football, right?
Yep.
There is no shutdown. There really is no shutdown corners, or with the way offenses or safety, with the way offensive rules are kind of played right now and kind of judged right now. So the best you can get is a guy that can cover, right? Cover corner. That's what we really are kind of looking for in today's NFL. So, but what kind of always irks me, Brandon. And I know the quarterback that we have, Carson Wentz, again, dude, he's kept the. The interceptions, what plagued him when on his way out of Philly, he kept the interceptions down, right? And I know he had some boneheaded moments, right? You be clear to
he did it again, one of those
but again, man,
passes.
Right, with the left hand,
yeah.
Pass, man, but to my point, man, the Colts are still bottom 4 in red zone efficiency. So that goes to Carson not being able to read or see what's coming or make an adjustment at the line when they're getting ready or potentially trying to score, and that it also reads to Coach Frank Reich. Some of those boneheaded, I call what they is those fourth and ones, or instead of kicking the field goal and getting the point. Again, man, I don't want to be the dead horse, we kicked the field goal in the game against the Ravens, the Colts are sitting 6-5 instead of 5-5, right? Because that's all it needed was 1 point to win. So like, no, man, you can't. As much as I can, you know what I'm saying, I can nitpick at you know what I'm saying, at Carson Wentz and the Colts. It is good from a Colts fan perspective that they got the win. But again, Brandon, like, you know what I'm saying, people want to pick on the defense and say, well, why ain't Derek Leonard doing this and why ain't Xavier Rhodes doing that, or why is it Quiddy Pay got to register sacks and whatnot. Again, I'm not saying some of those criticisms are valid, but again, man, this is offensive football league. This is not the Pittsburgh Steelers that your mom and pop grew up with. This ain't the Chicago Bears that your mom and pop grew up with. This is an offensive league, and you can't score. You're not gonna win in this league. That's the way this. You know what I'm saying? The rules have changed. So again, you know what I'm saying? I play the next. You know what I'm saying? I play my analytical game by the numbers, man. And like I said, the Colts there's only 32 teams in the league, right? Mm-hmm. The Colts are sitting 28 in the offensive red zone percentage and scoring. So they got to improve that if they want to potentially make the playoffs.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. They've got a tough one this Sunday at Buffalo. Home then the following week against the Buccaneers, which, you know, John, and we've talked about this over the weeks, you know, where all the underdogs won a couple weeks ago. I don't know what you really going to expect from these teams week in and week out. You keep thinking, you know, hey, the second half season, the teams are going to start winning that need to be winning, like the Tampa going into Washington and losing to Heineke and stuff. It's I don't know what to expect. I mean, the Kansas City Chiefs, they look back, you know, was it back for 1 week against the Raiders, but they look great against the Raiders, back to the old Kansas City. So what kind of KC team?
Yeah.
They still have their flaws. It's, you know, the Oakland Raiders are the Oakland Raiders. You know, they couldn't exploit those flaws, but these other playoff teams, Tennessee right now, John, looks like the best team in the NFL, hands down, even with Derrick Henry out. They look like the best. Anthony Simmons, or is it Avery Simmons or whatever, he is a wrecking machine right now from Mississippi State. He's playing the best ball out there, and the Titans are finding a way. They're one possession away from being 9-1 instead of 8-2 and losing to the Jets. But Tennessee, look at the Patriots. The Patriots are starting to roll. They're turning things around. They just put a whooping on Cleveland. So I don't know when we can finally start saying, okay, John, from this point forward, these teams don't have an excuse to lose. Baltimore, that was a head scratcher. I was sick last Thursday night. I went to bed before the game started. I said Baltimore easily win this. I wake up Friday morning and my God, Baltimore, what happened? Losing to Miami. So I don't know. There's some bad losses right now, but to me, John, I think Tennessee looks the best and New England looks good as well. I'm not saying New England's good second place, but right now, those are two good teams. The Rams, they losing to the 49ers last night. I didn't see that happening, except for when I saw the spread move. When I saw the line start to move, like a lot of people were betting on the Rams. Here's a little 101 in sports betting. The percentage of bets on the Rams was over 70%, 80%. But over 80% of the money bets, the big money, was on the 49ers. And the spread went towards the 49ers, which said that the pros in Vegas believed that the 49ers were going to cover the game, even win it. And guess what? They went out and won it straight out. So I don't know when these teams are going to show. The Packers, they look good, beating the Seattle. You know, Russell Wilson, I don't think he's ready to be back just yet. But, you know, Rodgers is back. He's got something to prove. I don't know, John. I don't know how long it's going to take for these teams to kind of show up and say, hey, we're here. We are the definitive. I think there's 9 teams that can win the title right now. 9 teams total. That's what I'm down to.
I will I don't know about 9 teams. I will co-sign everything you said about Tennessee. I think Vrabel's probably looking at potential coach of the year. I know, you know what I'm saying, we still got football to play, but with the injuries that's the thing, you mentioned King Henry being out. Julio Jones probably gonna miss another. Who took an injury this past game. He's probably gonna be out. He went on IR. He's probably gonna miss at least 3. Like I said, they took some lumps, and they keep on. Like I said, they keep on winning. Now Tannehill has looked great. I don't think he's necessarily gonna be an MVP candidate, but if there's a candidate for most improved player, award, whatever, I think he might potentially get it. But all that aside, like I said, the AFC outside of Tennessee is kind of definitely unpredictable. And then you got a log jam with a bunch of 5-3, 5-4. The 5-win teams, Steelers, Bengals, and Browns. The AFC North is the log jam. You know what I mean? And that's all. There's also some other teams out west, the Raiders and Chargers, again, who have played better early on in the season, but have kind of faltered down here in the middle part of the season. So who's to say they can't get back hot? But right. No, man, like you said, man, Tennessee looks to be the best team going in. And I don't know. They're not gonna. They don't look like I said. Vrabel's got them playing and believing. And like I said, they believe in the system that he is. I don't feel them like having to put off the gas regardless of the injuries they have.
Yeah, I agree. Go to another game. Oh, well, hold on. Breaking news. And if you're not watching the Facebook live feed, we kind of prefaced it on there a little early. John, you can tell Coach K don't give a damn that it's win a title or bust this year for Duke. Duke freshman Paulo Bacharo, I said I butchered his name, will play tonight against Gardner Webb. Bacharo was just charged with aiding and abetting on Sunday for a DWI case with Coach K's grandson. I thought he'd be out. I told you they'd be suspended. I thought indefinitely for one game, a joke and everything, but Coach K and them must not give a damn and said, you know what? Shit, you're playing tonight. So Coach K said title or bust.
Yeah, the details on, like I get it was his car, the car registered in his name, but the grandson's driving. Then some of those details are a little gray coming out when they came out. So hopefully there's no – we all know Coach K can walk on water, right? And as far as Durham, North Carolina is concerned, probably the state of North Carolina, right? We just hope that he didn't wave a magical wand and kind of make this all this go away in the name of basketball. You have to be, you know what I'm saying, with Henry Ruggs, that just happened. I know it was a separate incident, and that's you know what I mean? But, you know what I'm saying, with that happening, everybody should be on a high alert. You know what I'm saying? Not just sports people, but everybody. Anybody who drinks socially or, if you got an addiction. You know what I'm saying? Dude, just call an Uber, call a taxi, walk, wherever you got to go. I mean, you telling me a Duke basketball player can't get somebody to come get him?
Come on now.
You know what I'm saying? Both of y'all drunk. You know what I mean? So again, they are lucky. I won't say blessed. They're lucky that it wasn't an injury or a fatality, because again, if you know what I'm saying, we should learn from what happened just with with the Raiders, with the Raiders wide receiver, and because his career is done.
Yep.
And these guys are just kind of starting off their career. So
totally agree.
I don't know. I just hope what's they did the great magic wand, like I said.
And I'm shocked. Like I said, I'm shocked he's playing tonight. I thought it'd be suspension at least for one game, but who knows? Moving on, the NFL, John. My Pittsburgh Steelers. They didn't lose, John, but they sure as hell didn't win the game. It's like the game didn't even play. Them and the Lions tie. Detroit stays winless, thank God. But the fact that they tied, and I'm okay with a tie. And I seem like a lot of Steelers fans were okay with a tie. The fact with Mason Rudolph back there, that's kind of, I didn't think we could win really with Mason based on what we've seen the previous year. He made some good passes, but between fumbles, and it was a sloppy field condition. Frymuth had a fumble late. Deontay Johnson in overtime had that big run, and then he fumbled it over. It's like, my God, we couldn't get out of our way. TJ Watt got hurt. if we can survive with a tie out of that and not lose any ground in the AFC North, I'm okay with it. Just ruins my prediction of 9-8.
Well, I mean, who do they play this? I think they got a tougher opponent, obviously, this week. But if you win that game, Brandon, you're 6-3.
Yeah, we play
right?
the Chargers this week. And Bosa is on
the Ravens
COVID list.
Yeah, and then the Ravens meltdown is even more apparent. I don't know, man. Kind of the game you got. You wish you could play back.
Yeah.
You know
well, I wish we had Ben healthy. That would have been a totally different story. I don't care what people say. If Ben Roethlisberger was quarterback, we would have won that game, no question. It just gives me more of a spotlight as well that we still have a quarterback position at the end of this season that we need to figure out how to address. And Mike Tomlin, being Mike Tomlin after the game, says he acknowledged the fight in the team, but he did not thank them and congratulate them. So that's a Mike Tomlinism right there. No, Mike, you guys went out there and played a game, and that's pretty much what you did. You just played. You didn't play well enough to win. You didn't play bad enough to lose.
Oh, man. He ain't going to USC, man.
No. Hell no. But
it's all good. It's all good.
But it's all right. We didn't lose to the Lions. Lions are still winless, and I don't know who the hell they play next week, but they'll probably lose to that one too. So, how about them Dallas Cowboys, John? Them Cowboys put a thumping on the Falcons. Dan Quinn got his revenge. It looked great.
Gotta love what Dallas did in the bounce back game. If anybody remembers the bad taste the Broncos put on the Cowboys season by basically blowing them out, stop stuffing the run, making Dak look mortal, except for the 16 points that they basically kind of scored in basically, you know what I'm saying, garbage time. You know, that was a good bounce back game for them. Matty Ice is done, Brandon. He's going to retire. They might as well make him a position. They might as well get him a position in the booth right now.
Uh-oh. He's just saying it done. That's it. It's a wrap.
Dude, CBS, Fox, call Matty Ice. See if he wants to be the next Tony Romo or Peyton.
He'll probably go NFL Network. They don't want him there. They got plenty of room there in NFL Network. All right, we got our boy here. Let's bring him on. Been a while since we talked to him. D-Cop, what's going on?
What's going on, Jance? Y'all doing okay today?
Yeah, doing well.
Hey, I know it's been a while, man. I've been in an undisclosed location, so I've been in a bunker for a while. So I wanted to get out and kind of share some sports talk. Obviously, football is the big deal, what we're dealing with. So also Pacer stuff too. So I got a lot of direction I want to go to, but what I want to hit first is because I wanted to follow back up on our conversation about the NCAA FBS playoff, right? So,
okay.
So my thoughts are this, right? Oklahoma looks like they were a fraud. Okay, we got Georgia's the best team in the country. You know that. Behind them, there's about 6 teams. Obviously, my Tide is one of them. The challenge is, like I told you guys, they're not going to beat Georgia. But here's my challenge. You have a 2-loss Bama team. Ohio State's going to lose to Michigan.
Stop it.
Okay, Oklahoma. No, I'm kidding. Oklahoma just lost, right? And they'll probably lose to OSU. So who is your Final Four in that scenario? Because I'm curious because I want my boys in, but like I've told you guys before, they're the 10th best Bama team in the last 10 years.
For me, I've got Georgia as obviously automatically in. The next 3 teams, I have a total of 4 teams it could be. Obviously, Alabama. Okay. I don't think the committee is going to the committee's already screwed up most of this already, so I don't think they're going to keep Alabama out even if they lose. But Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, and then Cincinnati or Oregon. Right now, obviously, Oregon's that spot, but things could fall to where it could be Notre Dame. I'm just saying, it could fall to Notre Dame, unfortunately.
Oh Lord, here we. And you know what? But you're right. But you're right, and here's why you're right. Because there's Alabama fatigue, there's Oklahoma fatigue. No one in the Pac-12 has a chance. ACC doesn't have a chance. So there's a real chance that Notre Dame, Cincinnati, Oregon deal, right? And maybe somebody sliding in there in the back door, i.e. Oklahoma State. But there's Alabama fatigue, and when Alabama loses to Georgia, the only way they're in the playoffs is that it's a 24-21 game.
Yeah.
Bama's in the playoffs if that's the case.
I know.
But I'm gonna tell you,
I know. Me and Brandon probably gonna expand on this a little bit later. I'm glad you brought it up earlier in the show. They don't want Cincinnati in the playoffs.
No.
They don't.
Money.
I'll be honest.
Money.
I'll be honest with you. I mean, it's money and ratings too, because again, I shared this stuff with Brandon a couple weeks ago. Man, Cincinnati's best game got 500,000 views.
Yeah.
Where in a Michigan State game gets you like 3 million. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
But
it means
the
something,
thing
man.
about it is,
It means something, Jonathan. It means something.
the thing about it is, though, it says Cincinnati still on the neutral field. Hell, I didn't even say Cincinnati could probably beat Michigan State in East Lansing. What I've seen.
You think they can or they can't?
I think Cincinnati can beat Michigan State. On a neutral field, I think they can handle Michigan as well. Ohio State would probably be a problem for them, and so would Georgia, right? But I say that, but hell, they only lost about Georgia last year. I get there's different teams year over year. They lost to Georgia in the last year in their bowl game by 3.
Well, that's a big talking point right now too. A lot of people are talking about that. Here's my challenge with that, man. As the season progresses, their strength of schedule just is plummeting. Because
hold on. I'm glad you brought up that, because everybody, a lot of the teams that we're kind of talking about, Oklahoma State, they play Tulsa. They beat Tulsa. Oklahoma State beat Tulsa by 3. Nebraska, they played Oklahoma. They 23-16. Ohio State beat Nebraska 27-16. So we basically kind of talking about you. We talking about like opponents. Like I watch too much college football all the time. All these teams play one another. They all play their cupcakes. There's some cross examination that can be made. But
the reason why I'm saying that, to your point, I listen to Neuheisel, and he's one of the most respected on the radio, right? So, and he brought up the fact that these teams have had 6 wins against 4 losses or more teams, right? And he broke it down. So Ohio State, he broke down Oklahoma, and that's the challenge. But here's the issue for Cincinnati. They don't have the cachet, man. We've talked about that before. If you don't have that cachet, it's a lot harder to overcome a weaker schedule. And Cincinnati doesn't have that cachet. I'm not saying don't put them in. I'm just saying this is what people are going to be talking about, and I'm talking about the people that matter.
And then I'm going to tell you like this because you're about to get riled up now. There's cachet and there's overrated. And I'm getting ready to tell you right now, the best conference in this field right now is the Big Ten. The best out of the top 25, who the top 25 teams play in the SEC? The SEC, not this year. The SEC in years past might have been the best conference, not this year. Not the most competitive. That's what I mean by that. Not the most competitive. Not Florida. Not Tennessee. Definitely not Vanderbilt.
I'm in agreement with you. I'm in agreement with you. I'm not an SEC guy. I'm an Alabama guy.
Well,
I don't give a damn about the SEC.
That's how the college football playoff guys rank it. They basically trying to tell us if a 2-loss. What I'm trying to tell you is Cincinnati ain't gonna make it. But I'm trying to tell you they want to be 12-4 for whatever for some ungodly reason. They ain't gonna let them in. Because here's the thing, BK and Brandon. There's only one. The Pac-10, the Pac-12 got one team in the top in the whole AP top 25 and the CSC, but there's three. There's three Big 12 teams, and they ain't got a shot to get in the top four
because of cachet. That's what I'm saying. Because of cachet. So we got to be realistic about it. Well, what we think is best isn't what they think is best, and that's my challenge, man. And I know we talked about expanding the playoffs. And that's all great. But just remember, well, you all don't remember. Maybe you do. Brandon, you remember. When Jonathan remembers, excuse me. Hey, the NCAA tournament was a 32 team tournament. Now it's 66, and we're still complaining. So my point being is it doesn't matter. the 13th team is going to be pissed. The 9th team is going to be pissed. The 7th team. It doesn't matter. Someone's going to be pissed. I'm okay with that. So that's why.
Well, no, but see, that's the thing. It's not about wins and losses. It goes back down to money, and it goes back down to TV ratings.
And when I say cachet, that's what I mean. Money, TV, all that cachet encompasses all of that. And that's all I'm saying, right? And when this all shakes out, man, I truly, truly believe Cincinnati's going to be in the outside looking in, pissed, right? Because hey, we had an undefeated season. And what they're going to say is, hey, you beat Notre Dame and that was it. And that's
again, hold on. Before we let you go, you can't get Cincinnati. Nobody wants to schedule them either.
but also you can go. But see, you can go back to years and years of that. Well, it was the Central Florida, not Central Florida. It was where. Yeah. So. I get that, but that doesn't get you any foul points, man. That ain't going to get you to the playoffs because no one wants to play you. So what I'm saying is, I'm not saying Cincinnati shouldn't. They shouldn't be.
Remember
I'm just saying this.
Well, then this is what I already say is a facade. Then because one, you got one post saying one thing, you got another post saying another thing. But then when Gary Barter, the chairman, and some other clown comes up here and says, well, reason why we said Oklahoma is not a top 5 or even top, where at one point they were top, they had like 7, right?
Right.
And in the CFP, they said their best win was against Texas Tech and Kansas. I'm like, are you serious? Did they do that? I mean, I get it. You came on here and said Oklahoma's a fraud. I don't necessarily believe that. They took the Big 12 itself, just like the Packers. This weekend, Utah got a good chance to beat Oregon. And then we're going to have a whole different level of conversation.
But here's what happens. Well, if that happens, the winner in that, man, is the SEC, though, is what I'm saying to you. The winner is the SEC. And I'm not, homering it. It's just a fact. The SEC is going to win if and when Oregon loses, which I think they will. It's going to win when Oklahoma loses again. Because here's why. Oklahoma State doesn't have the cachet that Oklahoma does. It's a mess, man.
I don't know. And you better go back and look at that teams, man. They play some of the same things. Oklahoma played Oregon State, a Pac-12 team. They played Tulsa. They played Boise. Some of the same teams that Cincinnati played.
I'm with you, but just from the naked eye, man, OSU doesn't have the same ring as OU. So that's going to put a damper on the Big 12 right there. I'm just saying. It's a mess, and I don't think there's a real fix.
Because if I told you who Michigan played to get to 9-1, you'd laugh at it. Western Michigan,
no, believe me,
Northern Illinois.
I had a debate about it today. But what I'm saying is, this is what we've got. Teams aren't going to play 9 strong teams because they know they don't have to until there's pain and scheduling. I'm just saying, period. This is Big Ten, SEC, ACC with Clemson. Until there's a pain point, man, that's the issue. It's not.
What did Rocky? Hold on, remember? I know you seen Rocky 3 when he got knocked out, and then Mickey told him. He said, "Man, Rocky was wondering why he thought he was why he lost." He said, "This dude was handpicked." So you telling me Nick Saban, Jim Harbaugh, and all these other clowns are handpicking their opponents to juice up their record?
Listen, you can't handpick everything in the SEC, but you have your bye week. You have your New Mexico State at 59-3, which I took my New Mexico State with the 50.5, and I lost it. So don't get me started on that. But my point being is, you can't hand take in the SEC. You can take those 2 games you can take those 2 out of conference games, those cupcakes, and that's what they do. But think about cupcakes.
What happened to Florida? Florida, they're gonna fire their coach.
They should. And listen, Florida, Dan Mullen, and if you all see my post, it couldn't happen to a nicer guy. He was a glorified offensive coordinator under Urban Meyer, and he rolled the coattails. And he and Tom Herman both have proven that they aren't that guy.
It would be interesting to see. I'm not saying Alabama could play a Big Ten schedule. Okay? I'm not saying Georgia could play a Big Ten schedule. It'd be real interesting. It'd be real interesting to see them have to play Penn State, Michigan, Ohio State.
Jonathan, this has been 1 year. Okay? Let's not get too excited, okay? 1 year where the Big Ten has had 1 year where they've had 5 top 20 teams. 1 year. Okay.
Well, the product of the SEC is getting ready to get watered down. Yeah, the money's coming, but the product of the SEC is getting ready to get watered down. When Texas, Oklahoma come over, the biggest fraud I've ever seen.
I get that, but I'm talking about the right now. So I'm hearing these Big Ten fans
right
say
now,
the same thing you said. Look at the Big Ten. This is 1 year. Let's see you do it on a consistent basis.
Anytime you got a Purdue team that beats 3, how many? 2 top teams, 2 top 10 teams, top 5 teams.
Happen, man. You got the best receiver. You got the best receiver. You got the best receiver in the country. Warren Central product, David Bell. He makes a difference. You know, he makes that difference.
They had a best receiver last year. They had the best receiver last year.
He's more mature. And that's what I'm saying. And listen, do not talk trash about David Bell now. Don't get me started now.
I'm not.
You know, that's my guy.
I'm not. I'm just saying it's a heavier gauntlet in the Big Ten than this year.
This year.
Man, stop it. That dude's still a snake oil salesman.
You're not going to fight. You're not going to fight.
Jimbo Fisher and the Texas A&M, snake oil salesman. Stop it.
Okay, listen. I know that you guys, you know what, I could do this all night. You and I are going to be chatting. We're going to be chatting about this because it ain't over yet.
If you clown IU, I'm going to say IU would blow Vanderbilt out by 40. IU would blow Vanderbilt out by 40. With Michael Penix's bad ACL.
Brandon, are you all doing libations live on air? Are you all doing libations? I need to know this.
You probably lost Brandon when you disrespected Purdue.
Hey, but listen, I'm not gonna hold you guys because I got my cousin's in Shelbyville. He had a flat tire, so I gotta go pick my cousin up.
Okay.
At his job, somewhere on exit, I think 109 or something like that. But I love the show as always, and Jonathan, we will catch up on this because we're not done yet.
We'll chat up.
Definitely. Hey, again, love the show, guys. Next week I'm talking Pacers. So cut me off on NCAA football and let's talk Pacers because I've got some thoughts about my boy.
Okay.
All right, you guys be safe. Take care.
All right, take care, man.
All right. Well, I tuned out. I couldn't get a word in. You guys are going back and forth.
Well, listen.
I left the room for a couple minutes.
Oh God!
I left the room. I couldn't get a word in. I said, "Well, I'll let this. This is their segment."
It ruffles people. It ruffles people's SEC folks' feathers when I say the SEC is top heavy and that the Big Ten got a little bit more weight to it. You know what I'm saying? So the gauntlet that the Big Ten teams have to play, I still think it's a little bit. I've always kind of thought it was better. Obviously, the talent. Alabama usually has the crushing talent. They have for the last. I mean, that's why they got so many championships. But
I'm hoping for heavy drama in the college football playoffs.
I think it's
because two teams are going to be pissed off. Are going to be Oregon, and they're going to be Cincinnati. It very well. This is a scenario that could play out. You would have Georgia, you would have Alabama, you would have Ohio State, and you would have Notre Dame. And you know who would be pissed off? Oregon, because they're going to say –
I don't know how to know.
Well,
Notre Dame won't lose a game. They won't lose a game going anymore. But I just don't know how Notre Dame leapfrogs that second.
I'm just saying the two teams that could be pissed would be Oregon because Ohio State beat Ohio State head-to-head, but Ohio State gets in before them because they're going to be style points in their Big Ten championship game. And then Cincinnati's pissed off because how the hell does they do their thing, but yet somehow Notre Dame's name brand goes ahead of them after they already beat Notre Dame head-to-head up there. So you got two teams that already beat these teams head-to-head. They're going to get passed up in the rankings. This could be chaos coming. So I can't wait. I hope it is.
If Utah beats Oregon, that's the start of the chaos right there this weekend.
Just so everybody knows, Utah is the favorite this week. So
thank Utah.
It very well could happen. Man, I don't even know where I want to go right now. I don't want to do college football too much because we got it at 7 o'clock, top of the hour. I want to go NBA.
Sure.
I want to talk Indiana Pacers. Last night was a travesty of a product of basketball. These guys had up a 12-point lead in the third quarter and proceeded to go 2 of 20. Yep, I said it. 2 of 20 in the fourth quarter last night against the Knicks. They ended up losing by 8.
Yeah.
Malcolm Brogdon, 1 of 6 in the fourth. Justin Holiday, 1 of 4 in the fourth. Sabonis, 0 for 3 in the fourth. Miles Turner, 0 for 2 in the fourth. Karis LeVert, supposed to be your scorer, right? 0 for 3 in the fourth. McConnell, 0 for 2 in the fourth. Miles Turner stat line, 3 points, 3 rebounds. Boy, that's going to get you a hell of a lot. Earn that contract. John, he had 3 more. He had 1 basket more than you and me, and he had 3 rebounds. That's it, more than us. I want to see Miles Turner. I put it on Twitter yesterday. I want consistency out of him. I don't care if it's even 10 and 6 or 10 and 8 or 8 points and 12 rebounds. If I can get that every night from him, that's what I want. I don't want this 40-point game and then 3 points. I don't want this big, huge 40-point, 10 rebound, and then a 3 and a 2. I'm like, come on, Miles. I want consistency from you. And you can't do it when you're on this big of a stage, the Mecca, against one of your rivals, and you lay a dud. Now, he's not the only one. He's not the only one. None of these other guys are going to get a pass. Because when you shoot 2 of 20 from the field, that's pathetic, especially when you're playing professional basketball. And I don't understand why Carlisle went with both bigs last night down the stretch against Obi Toppin and I can't think of the other big they had in last night for New York at the time. But I didn't understand the lineups.
Well, I mean, Brandon, I know we've been gone for like 2 weeks, man. So we do have to kind of lay some groundwork for this. Coming off that West Coast road trip, the 2 games I think the Pacers kind of got away from them was the Portland game and the Denver game. Some games like that you would want to have back, like because like they were dogfight in them. What you said is kind of been a running thing. Pacers up in the third quarter. They've been up in the third quarter in every single one of these games that they play, except for the Sacramento game. Well, they was up, not big, but they've been up big in almost every single game that they played last 4, right? And then they have this fourth quarter meltdown where they think they've won it and they can kind of coast and do 10-point lead in this new era of let's shoot threes and potentially Olay fouls that the referees are called. The referees have gotten a little bit stronger on the foul calling and the flopping, but they if you sneeze on a guy, they're gonna call foul and he's going to the line, right? But nah, man. So I'm
just tired of the excuses.
It's not an excuse. You ain't got no excuse.
No, not the, well. No. There's one guy, Reggie Sykes. Well, we weren't playing at full strength. We didn't have TJ. We didn't have Duarte. Okay, well, he would know anymore, being the biggest Indianapolis Colts homer of all time. What's their mantra? Wasn't it always next man up? Isn't that what the mantra is? So where the hell is that for the Pacers? Because it ain't happening.
Well, this team for one is not necessarily good enough without a superstar, right? Just remember that. This team ain't good enough to have players on the court not be participants, not to make impact. We had some great efforts out on the road trip from T.J. McConnell, if anybody can remember. We also had some pretty good efforts out of Miles on the road. Because again, they don't beat Utah without him, right? The fight that he
the fight,
showed.
yeah.
They don't beat Philadelphia without him and the balance that they had.
No Simmons, no Embiid. Yeah, you should beat them.
It doesn't matter. Well, no. It doesn't matter. You still want to go out there and compete and win the game. Because again, like in this early NBA, man, anybody, dude, Brandon, look at the standings. The Washington Wizards are at the top of the East.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so again, teams can win on you if you don't bring your A game. The biggest thing with Miles Turner is not bringing his A game every night. He's not. So if he doesn't get the first two or whatever to fall for him, he checks out. And like in-game criticism, I'm assuming that he gets on the coach. He checks out. He checks out even more. You can call it not playing enough college basketball and being challenged at that point. And I do believe he's like a one and done or two and done kind of player, right? Came out early, right? And not, you know, saying there's some things that can be said to that. My personal opinion. Now, that's a whole nother conversation. That you know, saying guys, you know, saying leave competition to go run for money, and then you don't learn necessarily how to play tight games and how to, you know, what I'm saying, well, dude, how important is it? Dude, they got 82 games, so you're like, all right, man, we lose this, we got 4 more in front of us, we can win. As long as we go on a 4-game win streak, well, you know what I'm saying, you gotta win this one before you go on the 4-game. You know what I'm saying? Maybe this is your 4-game win streak, right? That they don't think like that. I think that's something you learn in the lower level basketball in college. But again, and maybe in NBA, and so in the G League. But again, that's a lane that Miles didn't come up with. But again, I go back to my point. This team, without a superstar, without a content, you know what I'm saying, I get it that Sabonis is an all-star. But without a superstar, this is what you have. You can't have dud players, and I'm not saying any guys, but you can't have guys not contribute. We didn't get the effort out of TJ went 1 for 8 last night. When the other night against I can't remember against the Kings, like Steve Nash, he put on the best Steve Nash impersonation. You know what I'm saying? I don't. Sabonis, you know what I'm saying? You look at Sabonis' stat line, it looks amazing. But again, like, so, Brandon, who's the leader of this team? The coach? But who's the leader on the floor? You know what I'm saying? They you know what I'm saying? They say it's Brogdon, but is it, you know what I'm saying? Does anybody really believe that? You know what I mean? So again, they play great team. But when this team plays great team basketball, they can potentially beat anybody. Unfortunately, they got to hit shots. They have to not play the analytical game. Brandon drives me crazy. You got 2 7-footers or 2 guys at 6'11", mm-hmm. And one of them wants to consistently keeps on shooting threes. Like, dude, if it ain't going down, you're gonna have to put yourself in position to either A, get a rebound offensive board, which Miles Turner is capable of doing, and get some point blank. You know what I'm saying? Get it going for yourself. Again, but that's got to be on the player. Again, the coach. How many coaches we got? I'm not saying I ain't getting ready. I know I was on a different channel chiming in three shows ago about potentially trading, and I was kind of leaning towards that way. I see what it is. The Pacers are going to wait for Miles Turner to turn into what they want him to turn into. But if that's the case, then you're going to potentially have these roller coaster up and down type of games where he scores immaculately, rebounds immaculately, block shots, and you get a complete game out of Miles Turner, and then you get these dud games. And that's what it's going to be until they decide to eventually trade and cut ties with him. So yeah. I know that doesn't necessarily sound, if that sounds like an excuse to you, I'm sorry. But that's kind of what it is with this Pacer team, because they don't have a superstar.
Yeah, this team, looking ahead, they've got the Detroit Pistons tomorrow night on the road.
Get them.
You've got the next game is at Charlotte. You already lost opening night at Charlotte. So you got them. You've got a New Orleans Pelican team that comes to Indianapolis on Saturday. There should be 0.0% of an excuse to lose that game to New Orleans on Saturday night. Then Monday you go to Chicago, take on a Bulls team who I said before the season was going to have a great year, and they would be competing for that top spot in the Central. And then Wednesday night, LeBron, Street Clothes, and Russ all come to town on next Wednesday, a week from tomorrow, the Lakers, night before Thanksgiving. Lake Show's here. This team, and I heard some idiot today on the radio said the Pacers are going to win 8 of their next 10 games. I'm finding a hard time looking at it based on this schedule. We're sitting right now 12th, tied for 11th or 12th in the East. Yeah, you can say, you know what? Hey, Brandon, it's early, and it is early. And the Milwaukee Bucks are in the same boat. They're 6-8, 11th in the East. But you got to see strides. This team has got to put things. They got to put games together. Yeah, you can say, well, Brandon, they've won 2 in a row or 3 in a row, or they won 2 in a row. But you know what? Good teams win those, but then also win the games where they're up in those third quarters. They win those teams. We're not that team that wins the games where we put our foot on a team's throat. A good team. I'm not talking about the likes of Sacramento, the Spurs, the crappy teams. I'm talking about good basketball teams. You look at the teams we've beaten. Okay, we beat the Heat. That's one. We did well. Okay, and then we beat the Spurs. They're 2-6. We beat the Knicks, so we're split with the Knicks. We beat the Kings. We beat the Jazz, and we beat the Jazz, and it took getting the best 2 guys ejected from the game, so Miles did something well there. And then we beat the Sixers, who was without 2 of their top players. So this team still has to show against a good team that they can win. Now, Detroit, I'd like to say you win, but Detroit's starting to show some heart. Charlotte's already tough, so let's see if we can go in and beat them. Pelicans, you should win. Bulls would be a good test. I think Chicago, if you can go into Chicago and beat Chicago, which we never win in the United Center, ever, hardly, then I'd like to see that. And if we can beat the Bulls and beat the Lakers back-to-back nights, I would look great, especially then when you got Toronto coming in Milwaukee. So I would like to see that. I did find it, John, interesting. I just saw a clip. Giannis Antetokounmpo, I said his name wrong. He had a quote today, John, via go.com. Go.com, not G. I thought it was GQ for a second. I just love challenges. What's the next challenge? The next challenge might not be here in 2 years. That might change. I'm being totally honest with you. I'm always honest. So Giannis has opened the doors to playing for another team in the next 2 years. And he's wearing a T-shirt that says "Where to go."
If that's the case, I don't know, man. I'm gonna focus on their particular problem. They've had Milton out with COVID. They had Little Holiday out with the injury himself, so they're kind of getting back to it. Their issue of being like 6-8 kind of speaks to their cohesiveness, and getting back into it. Again, those 2 guys, Holiday and Milton, had extended season in the playoff run last year, and if we remember, they also played in the Olympics, man. So they played a lot. They've logged in a lot of basketball.
Right.
So then when I look at the top 10 teams in the conference in the East, man, the Cavs are not going to be pissed. They won't be there. That's a team that can go that looks strong here in the early sets. The team actually, it's a position that's where I kind of thought the Pacers would be, but we are not. But the Cavs won't be there just because it's Cleveland. There will be some some subterfuge, some losing that they kind of go through. But that kind of says, speaks to like when the Bucks get their troops back. That's when the swing kind of happens. So the Pacers have to play their best basketball. And Brandon, you're right. Beating the best teams, beating the better teams, it definitely should be, an inexcusable type of thing. But they also got to punish the Orlando Magic of the world. They also got to punish, the young Detroit Pistons of the world and walk out, with their heads set. I mean, gain some confidence. So, against Oklahoma is also a team. That's a team when you play your reserves and whatnot. You should extensively, but like man, the East. I don't know, Brandon. The East, basketball season is still a little early. But you cannot be wasting games if you're if you're a position if your team like the Pacers in this particular position when you're already kind of behind the 8 ball. A 6-game win, you heard somebody talk about an 8-game win streak. That would be fantastic, but highly unlikely. Could the Pacers put together 3 games, 4 games? Sure, but 8 game, I don't know. When you talk about Giannis going somewhere else, with success kind of comes other ears chirping in your ear, other people chirping in your ear, and other, Hollywood or even like Broadway chiming in, say, well, if you come here, this is what you can get. We can probably get you an airplane and this, that, and the other. Some things, and then you think about the landscape and what it looks like Milwaukee. I've been to Milwaukee. I went to Milwaukee when I was a little kid. I like this nice Midwestern city, but I like Midwest. I grew up in here in Indiana. I mean, Milwaukee, it just is, a lot of lakes up there. But when you think about what you could get in California, you got oceans and whatnot, and you got, Hollywood and all the things that kind of come with that, and potential and even more endorsement deals outside of what something like a smaller market could offer you. It doesn't surprise me that, he's hearing this. Again, he's also a guy who's given his all to this particular city in Milwaukee, played there since he was 18 years old. He's been how many MVPs he's won there, right? He has that on his resume, has a title on his resume. It would not surprise me. I don't know. He seems like a loyalist kind of guy, and wants to finish his career with the team he kind of started. But it wouldn't surprise me if he does eventually go somewhere, because it's just the other places have more to offer, and it's hard for small markets to compete with that.
Yeah, agree. By the way, Carson Wentz announced the birth of his second daughter, today on Instagram. So the Wentz family gains another one. So luckily, they didn't miss any football games for the birth. John, Anthony Davis, the Lakers are having their woes right now. LeBron's out, could be back this Friday. Street clothes is seems like he's hurt every other minute. But he came out and said, we're not good enough. We suck right now. Russ is on a different level. Russ in the press conference the other night just sat in there on his cell phone, didn't even answer a single question. I know it's early. We talked about it's early. So Lake Show's going to get it right. They're going to get it together, right?
They got some similar. You still there? They got some similar issues that the Pacers have. They go into the fourth quarter leading. You know what I'm saying? They go into fourth quarter leading, and then everything kind of goes to crap in the fourth. Right now they're sitting at seventh spot in the playoffs. There's a couple of teams probably nipping on their heels. They might be able to catch them and overcome them for that particular spot. But this is a team that's kind of been put together that nobody kind of saw being seventh. Not at this juncture in the season. So, but I'll be honest with you, Brandon, with LeBron bringing out, it's on the 2 other All-Stars that they have to get it done. It's on Anthony Davis and Westbrook to get it done. If that means answering questions from the press that you don't want to answer, it's on you to get it done. If that means finding some offensive cohesiveness, or better yet, some defensive cohesiveness, which is what they're kind of struggling at. They need to figure it out. Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook should be enough to get it done with LeBron James, in street clothes for however long. And that's just it. As the young man,
and Melo's playing well off the bench.
Yeah, he is. Although he had a bad shooting night a couple nights ago, 1 for 12 in a bad loss, but they rebounded against San Antonio. But and Davis got to get done. Like the ball got to go through you. You know what I'm saying? With his skill set, double shouldn't be. That should be. You should have double. I mean, I'll be honest, Brady should have double before the halftime. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Should you know what I'm saying? How you call for the ball? Like he should have at least 20 to 30 touches. I'm not saying shoot touches. I'm saying the ball should run. The offense should run through him. You know what I'm saying? Until he's their best player until LeBron James gets back. And technically, he should be the one. Remember those comments they said about when they brought him in to like pass the torch to be the next big Laker big man? You would never hear any Laker from the past, you know what I'm saying, not want the moment, not want the spotlight. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the jive Laker big man like Eldon Campbell,
right.
With no Shaquille O'Neal, no Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You know what I'm saying? You want this, like, dude, this is more like LeBron James, man. That's 20 more touches that you should get. So, you know, they got to figure it out. Again, they're not, if the playoffs are today, they'd be 7th. You know what I'm saying? They'd have to be playing whatever little kooky rules NBA got right now for the bottom 2 teams or whatever. But they, again, no excuse from that team. And like I said, I like me personally, I think he can criticize, he can come out and press, you know what I'm saying? Pull that out and, and kind of and maybe blast it and make glorify, but he did say it. So if we being the team he's playing on ain't playing better, then you got to lead him to get to playing better because he is the best player that they have.
Yeah. Just so you know, the new Tom Brady documentary, John, 10-part documentary on ESPN Plus. I watched the first episode today. It's already great. It's already great. So. It's supposed to be up there with Last Dance style with Brady. So, couple things tonight. Good one tonight on TNT. First game, the Warriors coming to Brooklyn, take on Durant, who's leading the points right now. I think it's over 26, 27 per game. Harden and Durant against Steph and Draymond and the Warriors. What to expect with this game tonight, John? I think KD and them can get it done, but you got to have a good Harden. Harden had a great game it was a couple nights ago, but you got to have another one, I think, against the first place Warriors.
Yeah, it's going to be a game that you're going to get the best shot, at least for the first 3.5 quarters out of both teams. There's still a lot of buzz about, you know what I'm saying, Kevin Durant joining that team to ride the coattails of the Golden State Warriors. I'm probably one of the main people saying that, right? So Durant has played at MVP level caliber. Man, his shot efficiency is been like he's averaging 29 points, and he's not shooting anything below 45%. So, like, man, those are crazy stats. He's efficient, right? I do also believe he's like the lead rebounder. Which I don't know if they know that's what they want, but he also is the lead rebounder, and he's second on the team in assists. So, ain't nobody questioning Kevin Durant. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of question marks around James Harden. Like, which James Harden's going to show up? Is he going to show up? You know what I'm saying? Is he going to make boneheaded plays where, you know what I'm saying, or is he going to, you know what I'm saying, rewind to the official about not getting foul calls? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Can he be clutch? You know what I'm saying? That's the real thing that we kind of worry about James Harden. Steph, you know what I'm saying, that team, the rookies that they've gotten back. I don't think Washington's back just yet, but, Kuminga's back. They haven't necessarily used Moody just yet. In his full capacity, but you know what I'm saying, I think that team's just waiting on Clay to get right. If you know what I'm saying, just in middle part of January, and hopefully they can, you know what I'm saying, whatever, you know what I'm saying. Again, I don't think he's going to be back to supreme splash where he's one of the best two-way players and playing great defense as well. But you know what I'm saying, even if he's at half speed, you know what I'm saying, that makes them very dangerous, you know what I'm saying. If you get wide back, that allows, you know what I'm saying, them to have even more bigs, you know what I'm saying, in the middle. So I'm looking for a real good entertaining game between these two particular teams tonight. Like I said, they're gonna get each other's best punches, and you're probably gonna see a good show. between the two MVP candidates in Curry and Durant.
Right. Trying to think of anything else NBA.
Oh, dude, is Kyrie? I got some. Is Kyrie gonna play?
At some point.
Is Ben Simmons gonna
Do you
play?
realize
John
Kyrie
Wall
Irving
play?
could be the first NBA player that the only game he played all season could be the NBA All-Star game?
Yeah, I'm surprised the NBA allowed him to be on the ballot. But
I'm just
yeah, he's on
saying
the ballot.
he could that'd be the only game he might play.
I think he was waiting on a mandate out of New York about a couple weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? It was, you know what I'm saying, if not a mandate, but you know what I'm saying, what is it? You know what I'm saying, to see if they were gonna allow him to play. You know what I'm saying? City officials were still gonna allow, you know what I'm saying, unvaccinated, you know what I'm saying, people to conduct their business, not just NBA players, but unvaccinated people to conduct their business. And you know what I'm saying, the governing body, the folks in New York City said no. So again, you know what I'm saying, I know he's been cited at a couple college basketball games, man, just living life, you know what I'm saying, that's all gravy or whatever. You know, Brandon, you know what I'm saying, we have to also put to the mindset that some of these guys already cashed out and got generational wealth already in their back pocket.
Right.
It's crazy to me and you. It's crazy to me and you when, you know what I'm saying, Victor Oladipo can walk away from $120 million. It's crazy to me and you when we can hear about Ben Simmons, you know what I'm saying, getting taxed every day that he misses a game or whatever, $360,000. You know what I'm saying? But here's what's also crazy, Brandon. The Houston Rockets, I mean, I say that, but the Houston Rockets said John Wall ain't gonna play, and they gonna pay him $45 million. So the arrogance and the you know what I'm saying, the goes both ways, man. You know.
All right.
So
here we go.
I go ahead.
The top 25 being released: 25th Mississippi State, 24th Houston, 23rd is Utah, 22nd my Roadrunners UTSA, University of Texas San Antonio, and 21st Arkansas. So right there, so far two SEC teams so far. So let somebody make a note of this for John.
For Pete, Brandon, they put Utah in so that there is
controversy.
They must be listening to our show, right? They put Utah in so that they can say there's two Pac-10 teams, Pac-12 teams in the whole AP top 25. So
right.
just in case Oregon loses, or
it looks good for it,
win,
right?
Well, they got that. They just got that rub. They just got that rub from Utah.
Yeah, it's not that bad of a loss if you lose to a ranked team, right? As this is going on, more news just came out from Michigan. Michigan's Juwan Howard has received a 5-year contract extension through the 2025-26 season. So, he is staying up in Ann Arbor for at least another 5 years. They've hooked him in.
Brandon, remember there was rumor that he's gonna come back to the NBA? I guess there's probably some truth to it. There was some flirtation, but Michigan wants him to stay around, so there you go.
Yeah, absolutely. As this is kind of going on, John, we'll kind of talk our picks and stuff from this past week in rankings-wise. Actually, here we go. 20th, NC State. 19th, San Diego State. 18th is Pitt. Iowa comes in at number 17. And number 16 is the Aggies, Texas A&M. A&M lost to Ole Miss. The Lane Train, they fall to number 16 in the rankings now. John, our top 5, our top 10, I still have mine the same. My top 4 teams are still the same. Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, and Cincinnati. I've got Oregon now at 5, Notre Dame at 6, Michigan at 7, Oklahoma State at 8. Oklahoma fell down to number 9, and I've got Lane Train and Ole Miss at number 10.
Brandon, you said Pitt. When you get a chance, man, you need to look deep. You need to deep dive into the Pitt quarterback. I know you.
He might be a Steeler.
Yeah, Steelers. The Steelers need to look at.
He's just going to change locker rooms.
That kid. I think his name is Kenny Pickett.
Yep.
You might want to start. You get your eyes and ears on that kid. That dude got he's gonna be in the Heisman room. I think. I don't think he's gonna win because they don't have the winners and losses They don't have the wins to back it up, even though they're on the top 25. But dude, 32 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. How does that translate to the NFL? You know what I'm saying?
Tomlin's already talked to him. Here's the thing. Pittsburgh Post-Gazette says that at Heinz Field from his office, Tomlin's office, he can look out and see the Pitt practice field. So
got you.
He's keeping tabs on him. The last time he did this with somebody from Pitt, it was James Conner.
He's on my radar. Yeah, he's on my radar for next level kind of quarterback. I don't necessarily think he'll be in the top.
Here's your
5 or 6.
Oh wow, 15 Wisconsin. Wisconsin at 15. 14 is BYU. 13 is Oklahoma. So the Sooners dropped 5 spots and fell to number 13. Ole Miss moved up to number 12. Baylor has moved up to number 11. No Baylor love from Jonathan on his top 10 rankings. He's got Georgia, and you've moved up Ohio State to number 2 after beating the Boilermakers. I know a lot of people are going to be wondering how you have Ohio State jump up 3 spots.
I thought, like when we took the call from D-Cot, so I thought Purdue beat, correct me if I'm wrong, Purdue beat Iowa, Purdue beat Wisconsin, right? When they were in the top 10, I do believe, or top 5, no, top 10. There's another team that they beat. They beat Penn State, I do believe. So they beat, 3 top 10 teams, and then Ohio State just went in and manhandled them. You know what I mean? Same team. O'Connell played well for the quarterback for Purdue. You know what I'm saying? Ohio State just had a little bit more than Purdue. Purdue could handle this past Saturday. So I thought the win versus Purdue justified them leapfrogging up to the top 2 spots. Come on, man. They played New Mexico. Alabama played New Mexico State. Stop it.
You got to get them prepared. Get them prepared. Get the kids prepared, right? As they always say.
Dude, that ain't even a crimson and white game, man. Stop it.
Are you justified okay with Oklahoma dropping 5 spots with just 1 loss to number 13?
Yeah, man.
I mean, you got them at number 10 on yours.
Yeah, I watched enough Oklahoma State. Enough Oklahoma. I still think they're a good team. Again, the Big 12, those are the top 3 teams in the Big 12, Oklahoma State, Oklahoma, and Baylor. So, you know what I'm saying, for one of them to beat one another, hell, Oklahoma State beat Baylor already. You see what I'm saying? So, I won't be surprised. Oklahoma will still make it to the SEC. To the Big 12 championship game, unscathed, and potentially still win the Big 12. But like I told D-Cot, like I told you, they don't want the Big 12. They might want Oklahoma, but they don't want the Big 12 to in this playoff at all.
Okay. Moving up to number 10, moved up 2 spots, Wake Forest. The Demon Deacons have moved back into the top 10 at number 10 overall. They are not on either of our lists as number 10.
You know why? Because if I put them on my list, they would be a fraud. That would be a fraud for me to put them on. Man, Wake Forest, stop it.
People have been hiding behind fake names forever. You're a fraud. Just stop.
Speaking of fraud, I'm waiting to announce the next one, John. Do you need to talk to the kids down in Austin, Texas, right now?
Oh my God, Texas! They lost it. They never lost to Kansas ever in program history. They never lost to Kansas Jayhawk football in program.
It wasn't good.
History. And Sarkisian has to be. I don't care what.
Stop it! He's not on the hot seat. No way.
He got to be.
No, it's his first year.
Yeah. Brandon.
Who you gonna go after? Urban Meyer?
Okay. It's quote unquote Tom Herman's team, but it ain't like Tom Herman had a horrible season last year. It's just that he didn't have a top 4, top 5 season last year. That's why Texas fired him. So they brought Sarkisian in. He was supposed to make everything better. He's supposed to be Nick Saban's disciple. He's supposed to be this guy that got the raw deal from USC. Remember? He's got the top. Yeah. He's got a top 7 nationally ranked team coming in next year. I don't want to hear any excuses next year. I still think that they're on the hot seat.
Number 9, Oklahoma State, the Pokes. The Cowboys come in at number 9-1. They moved up from the 10 spot. Oklahoma State at 9. We both had them at number 8 in our rankings. This week. So it's going to still be a great. I would have loved to see Oklahoma State the final week. Bedlam. I would have loved to see that playing out a little bit. Now it's going to suck for Oklahoma State because now if they get the win, I don't know if they've got enough of a push if they beat Oklahoma based on the rankings.
Right. They don't.
Unless they play them twice.
They don't.
I mean, well, I guess if you beat them the first time, they're going to drop even further. So, But number 8 is Notre Dame. The Fighting Irish move up 1 spot to number 8, John. I had them at 6. You had them at 6. So Irish are slowly climbing, John. There's a scenario, and I know you can see it in that far distance, but there is a scenario where I can see this damn committee put Notre Dame in.
Of course they can. I mean, when I say who can draw, like nope, the folks down in South Bend and the Catholics around the world love Notre Dame. They just do.
Everybody down in Austin, Texas, let's just breathe a little bit, all right? At some point, every team has lost to somebody within their conference at some point, whether it was in 1930, 1940, 1912, it's happened. So people just need to relax. It just so happened that Kansas football has been horrific.
They put a basketball score on them, 55 points.
I thought it was a basketball game being played. I mean, it was a bad weekend for Texas, just for football. And then they go and take on Gonzaga, and they got that ass whipped by Gonzaga. It wasn't even close. I was hoping Chris Beard and they would be able to keep that thing close. They were 7-point underdogs, and Gonzaga took that thing from the start, and Drew Timme had a career-high 37 points.
37. Looks like a lottery pick.
Drew Timme.
Chris, he better get that. Yeah, Chris Beard better get that situation under control, man. He's got a little bit more time than Sarkisian, though. To be honest with you.
I was okay. The rankings moving forward. Obviously, number 1, unanimous Georgia Bulldogs, 10-0. Yep. Just putting on a show. And I'll say it again because I've said it every week and since preseason. They were my pick to go to the national championship game. People just called that before. I called them in Oklahoma. I'm at least going to get one of the 2 right. So
there you go.
Number 2, Alabama. Crimson Tide stays at number 2. No change there after beating New Mexico State, as John said. Setting up a big game with them against Auburn. And that's not going to be an easy one, especially going down to Auburn.
Right.
Number 3 is Oregon. Oregon Ducks stay at number 3 as expected, setting up the big showdown. Number 3, Oregon. Number 17, Utah at Utah this week. The Ducks are staying at number 3. So I don't expect much of a change, John, because the top 7 teams all won this week. I don't think there was a significant win that, to me, I was like, oh, my God, like they're going to jump somebody. I just didn't see it. I think the Buckeyes should stay at number 4 when they announce it here. I think the Bucks are going to stay at your number 4 spot, and then you probably have Michigan, and then because Ohio State comes in at number 4. So, but can you see the committee, John? I can see the committee moving up Michigan here to number 5. They're just getting it a little bit closer for number 4, number 5 to play.
Only for them because Michigan
ratings, baby, ratings. You know who's in charge of the college football playoff, right? ESPN.
Man.
They want ratings.
The NBA don't do ratings.
By the way, Pacers. I saw a report today. Pacers have the second lowest attendance in the league right now. Second lowest.
Right. That's because ain't nobody watching the game. You can't watch the game on TV. You can't. And the product once you win.
Yep.
Come on, man.
You're right. Yeah, I think Michigan. They're gonna get that a little bit closer. They can have Ohio State, Michigan 4-5, and well, I guess that game is actually going to be on Fox. It's the Big 12. It's the big noon kickoff game, so it's on Fox this year. So Michigan and Ohio State. So ESPN won't get that game. Number 5, they gave the Cincinnati still. Cincinnati's sitting at number 5 after their win. I believe they play. Trying to see. Yeah, they play. They're at home this week against SMU, 12-point favorites this week. Cincinnati. So 6 and 7, John. I would have to say it's still going to say Michigan and then Michigan State. So I don't see that changing at all. And I honestly think Notre Dame's better than Michigan State, personally. So I don't.
Oh yeah. What was weird? Here's what's weird, Brad. As we wait for the next teams to be called. Ohio State gonna sweep the state of Michigan this year?
Cool.
I don't know.
I think so.
I don't know. I know.
Michigan got an impressive win this week at Happy Valley. They did.
Yeah, but then they can run the ball. Defense looks good. Again, it can't. If Ohio State gets their best punch, I think Ohio State is better than Michigan. But I do believe the game is in Michigan this year.
It is.
Correct me if I'm. Man, but will he go? So if they beat Michigan, will they go to they'll go to the they'll go to the playoff, right? Michigan will.
If Michigan beats Ohio State, they'll go to the Big Ten title game. Yes.
Will they? So then Ohio State will be out. Period. Because they'll have 2 losses. Right?
Yes, they would be, but they could still get in.
And then nah, they won't. The only 2-loss team to get in would be Alabama. And I'm gonna stick to my guns on that one.
Yeah, it's so Michigan at number 6 and Michigan State at number 7. That is how it's played out. So interesting to see how that. John, let's go dive into our picks. First game up. Looking at last week. Let me bring it up on the page. I went 7-2. So I went 7-2 and then had a bad week and then came back at 7-2 again. We are officially over 500 now. I've been battling back after the horrendous week I had about 5 weeks ago. 7-2. I'm 48-43 with 1 tie. You and Tanner both went 4-5, and now Tanner has leapfrogged you by 1 game, 52-39. You're 51-40 overall now. So Tanner has leaped it. First game, Central Michigan at Ball State. The Fighting Cardinals, home game. Tanner is taking Ball State in this game. I'm going to take the Cards as well. Why not? And I'm sure you are going to as well. So there's a unanimous.
I'm gonna take Ball State, but I'm gonna tell you right now, man. Central Michigan reminds me of what Ball State did last year. They score in variety. They can put up numbers on you in variety of ways. They can air it out on you, or they got running backs that can just run it down your throat. Whoever gets the most defensive stops in this game is gonna win this ball game. I think it's gonna be a high scoring affair. It might even be like the close one that Ball State just had with Northern Illinois, when basically it kind of came down to the last seconds of the game. And anybody remembers Northern Illinois last week's Wednesday in action? Northern Illinois kicked the field goal, and that was it. Ball State didn't have the opportunity to do anything about it. So Central Michigan sitting right there 6-4 in play for a MAC championship. Man, Ball State wants to get to a bowl game. This is where it starts. So, of course, I'm going to pick Ball State. I'm a Ball State alumni. I'm a Ball State homer, all those things. But it ain't going to be easy. But I'm going with Ball State.
Okay. Next one up is Purdue at Northwestern. The Boilermakers, 12-point favorites at Northwestern. I think Purdue wins and covers this game as much as I can see them going up there to lay an egg in Evanston. I think Purdue does get it done.
Nah, man, they can't. They got to take some of that mojo. I get it. They got teeth kicked in against Ohio State. Got behind too many points, man. And they kind of made it interesting through a little bit, but they just got down too much against Ohio State. They don't, that's something that their program's gonna have to go looking for. Like, how can they get, more depth at, different positions on defense specifically? How do they get more depth on defense so that when the starters is gone? Because I think starters on both offense and defense are pretty good. They play right there with Ohio State. Just when you get, deeper into the bench, Ohio State's got you. So Northwestern, not saying, in years past, I think this would have been like you said, a letdown game because but I think Purdue, this would be a bounce back game for Purdue. So the 12 points, I think they cover. I got Purdue rolling.
Okay. The next one, Michigan State, number 6, Michigan State at number 4, Ohio State. Buckeyes 19-point favorites in this game against Michigan State. They don't know the odds makers to give no respect to Michigan State. Tanner is going to take Michigan State to cover the 19 points. Still believes Ohio State will win, but they will cover.
Man, did Michigan State really look that impressive when they beat IU? That's when I think about, something like the opponents they've already played. I do like Kenneth Walker, the running back, Kenneth Walker Jr., the running back from Michigan State. If Michigan State can get time of possession on Ohio State and kind of control the game that way, a formula that they've used, in prior games, they can hang with Ohio State, but again, it kind of goes back to like what I said about Purdue. They don't have enough to back them up. And once those starters are out of the game, and the quarterback, come on, Brandon. Like Brandon, I think I can outthrow their quarterback. They starting quarterback right now, and I'm 47 years old. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, Sparty, shots fired. But yeah, no, I think that it took Michigan State, but like, there's no way. Ohio State is not looking. This ain't the Michigan team that they're gonna sweep. And I don't think they're looking. I don't think they're looking over them either. But I think they crush Michigan State.
Okay, I've got Ohio State covering this as well. I think if the game was at Michigan State, this would be more of like a 13, 14-point spread. But with being at Ohio State, I like them to cover the 3 touchdowns, basically. Ohio State's rolling. And they're playing their best football now, and I think it was good for them to get that loss out of the way early in the season against Oregon. Next one, Iowa State at Oklahoma. The Sooners are 4-point favorites. I've got Oklahoma State to get back on track here. They need to try to get some style points. I've got Oklahoma. Tanner's got Oklahoma.
Yeah, you might as well make it a sweep, man. Iowa State, they stunned some other teams. I think they beat Oklahoma State week 5 or so. You know what I'm saying? They won't. Oklahoma should really have a bad taste in their mouth. I know they had some controversy at the quarterback position, like who should start and who, you know what I'm saying, and should this kid start, you know what I'm saying, whatnot. I think they get back on track, man, and take the rest of the season to try to, you know what I'm saying, play their way back into some type of at least playoff, like pissed off contention, because they can't get back in. But again, that particular program wants to win its conference, and I think they, you know what I'm saying, they follow suit and do that. And then it kind of starts with Ohio State. Ohio State's been an up and down team, more so even a disappointment, more so than anything. We all had higher hope for Ohio State this year, especially with their running back Hall. Hell, he had Heisman hope. He, a Heisman preseason watch type of deal. But you know, saying they have played spoiled in the past in this season, but not this game. I got Oklahoma.
Okay. Georgia Tech at Notre Dame. Notre Dame 15.5-point favorites. Myself and Tanner are both on Notre Dame on this one as well to cover. John, are you with it in a clean sweep again?
Man, ain't no ACC school that can beat Notre Dame. It'd be interesting to see them at Pitt, right? If Pitt was on their schedule this year, but ain't no ACC school that can beat Notre Dame this year. So give me Notre Dame.
All right. Next one's Arkansas at Alabama. Alabama 20.5-point favorites. Once again, me and Tanner are both on Alabama. Does John make it a clean sweep, or does he think Arkansas can cover that 20.5?
I think Arkansas is going to cover the 20.5. I'm going to go the other route, man. Arkansas has a hot sauce mid-season, man. They took some lumps here or there. since their big win against Texas. But like, I think they can cover that.
Okay. SMU at Cincinnati. Cincinnati 12-point favorites against SMU. I think Cincinnati wins this one. They need to try to get some style points. It's not going to be easy. I think they probably get a field goal late to win by 13 and cover. I got Cincinnati. Tanner believes SMU will cover the 12 there. So we're split on there. John, who do you got?
I'm taking the Bearcats, man. Bearcats just like to win. They like to jump on you early, and you know what I'm saying, they feel sorry for teams in the second half. They put the third stringer out there, and the other teams kind of come back on them. That's not necessarily smart. That's not necessarily a smart way to play this college football playoff system where you got to have style points. You know what I'm saying? They want you to brutalize the teams. They want you to score 40, 50 points on a team. You know, allow them to have like 17 on you or whatever. But that's not the Bearcat style. But no, I think they covered the 12.
Okay. Minnesota -7. Minnesota 7-point favorite at Indiana. Me and Tanner, this might have been the easiest game ever. We both took Minnesota. John, do you think the Hoosiers have any life after getting the beat down of a lifetime against Rutgers?
Man, I thought it would be a more competitive game against Rutgers. It wasn't. Oh man, I did. We did say that Rutgers was on the come up, and they are. So it's gonna be interesting to see Rutgers going further. You know what I'm saying, next year, and even the rest of this year, how they play spoiler for some teams. But they just teed off on IU and just put a total damper on IU. It was IU like now 2-7 or something.
Still haven't beat a Power 5 team.
Compared to where we're at last year, feeling saying mile high in the sky, and how I'm feeling good about going the direction of the program. The program is taking basically, you know what I'm saying, they took 2 steps forward, 5 steps back. Yeah, no way. Minnesota surprisingly lost to a kooky Bowling Green team, like mid-season.
Yeah, they should have beat Iowa last week. I had them beating Iowa.
Yeah, that's probably the reason why Tanner's in front of me, because I took Iowa. So no, I took Minnesota. So, but like, no, man, I like Minnesota in this game.
Last one, the big one, number 3, Oregon. At Utah. Utah is the 3-point favorite in this one. Oregon, the number 3 team in the country, is an underdog. I picture this one like a mouse trap. Like the cheese is sitting on the trap, and it's telling me to go ahead and take the Oregon plus the 3 points. The better ranked team is getting 3 points going into Utah. Go ahead and take that cheese off the trap, and it's not gonna clamp down right on you. But
wow,
conventional wisdom would say take Utah here, but guess what? Hey, listen, Oregon needs this one. They know what they need. God, if they want to represent the Pac-12. Pac-12 is going to be all behind them in this one. The Pac-12 officials will be behind them on this one. You got to believe. I've taken Oregon and the 3 points. Tanner's taken Oregon plus the 3 points.
Wow, I'm going the other direction. I'm taking Utah, man. Oregon, last couple games, if they need to stop, they're holding on to this Ohio State victory more so than anybody's ever held on to anything in the history of football. They're holding on to it. If we had to put style points on the last 2 wins that they've had, I always credit teams for winning, period. You know what I'm saying? But the Cows, they played Cal, was horrible. They should have dominated Cal. And I forget who they played. I believe they played Washington State last week. They only won by like 10 or 12. Again, a team they should have just dominated. You know what I mean? I'm gonna say this, man. It's not just like Utah. Utah has played poorly this year. They beat the Fighting Herman Edwards in Arizona State. They also beat USC, I do believe, at home. But Utah also had some bad losses. Okay, to be honest with you. But they've done their due diligence. In the last 3 games, they beat Arizona, they beat Stanford, they beat UCLA, and convincingly, like I said. So, and they can put numbers up on you. They can put 40 up on you if you blink. So, if this game was in Oregon, I would definitely, you know what I'm saying, put all my monopoly money, you know what I'm saying, on Oregon. But Oregon, like I said, it's the game in Utah. And like I said, Oregon has never necessarily looked as strong in their last 3 outings as Utah has. So I'm gonna go with Utah to win this game and to cause the anarchy, cause potential anarchy come Sunday and Monday.
Perfect. All right, John. We're going to do some quick ad reads. We come back. We'll finish up. Shorter show this evening. We'll finish up with a little wrestling, a little recap of wrestling this past week. So we'll be right back after these 3 ad reads.
You've changed thousands of diapers, cut off hundreds of crusts, played hours of peekaboo and duck goose because you'd do anything for your kids. That's why it's so important to protect them with life insurance from State Farm. State Farm Insurance agent Scott K. Nichols will help make it easy and affordable to help protect your family no matter what the future holds. Because for the people you do anything for, life insurance could mean everything. Call State Farm agent Scott K. Nichols in Indianapolis today at 317-243-3509. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
All right. We also want to thank our other sponsor, Mavericks Custom Motorsports, where ideas are created, dreams are born, specialize in custom motorcycles, boats, slingshots, Jeeps, and trucks, offering pickups, deliveries, and shipping worldwide. Check them out today, MavericksCustomMotorsports.com. As I said, they ship worldwide, custom motorcycle builds, custom audio accessory installs, LED lighting, custom wheels. They carry all the top brands and more. Check them out today, MavericksCustomMotorsports.com. Give them a call, 833-SHOP-MAV. That's 833-746-7628. Let them know Crossroads Sports sent you. They'll get you taken care of. And then we also want to thank our other sponsor.
Wise Logistics, man. Anybody looking for a
holiday season
market. Wise holiday season. Wise Logistics. They ship both commercial and domestic. Call them at 1-877-744-62112. They are hiring right now. Immediate hire, looking for CDL drivers and warehouse help. Also, if you're not privy to how to use the phone, I don't imagine how you're not. You jump online and fill out an application at wisemanlogistics.com. Like I said, they are hiring. Tell them Crossroads Sports, Brandon Johnson, that sent you. And like I said, that'll get you a little bit of a resume favor if you say Brandon Johnson sent you. Like I said, Wiseman Logistics is hiring.
Perfect.
It's so hard for me to sit back here in this studio looking at a guy out here hollering my name when last year I spent more money on spilled liquor in bars from one side of this world to the other than you made.
And John, with a little bit of wrestling to finish out our show. Last week, me and you went to AEW, Dynamite.
Yep.
I thought it was a good show, good matches. The end was the contract signing with Hangman Page and Kenny Omega. And then Saturday night was the pay-per-view. I watched the pay-per-view. I ordered it. Every match was so damn good on that pay-per-view. Just so damn good. Each match was invested about 18 to 20 minutes in each match is what it was. I mean, the damn thing started at 8 o'clock, John. It didn't get over till midnight. It was right at midnight when it got over. I was clutching my eyes trying to stay open to finish to watch it. Hangman Page wins the world title. He's your new champ. Brian Danielson, he won his eliminator match against Mira. So now you have babyface versus babyface at some point for the world title coming up. What they're going to do with Omega next will be interesting. Inner Circle got their big win in their match against Dave Lambert and them. But John, I guess a little bit your thoughts on first Dynamite and then kind of how the pay-per-view went about.
Well, a little bit of a letdown. I wanted to see things. I've seen things a couple times. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to see things. We didn't get that. We got a lot of surprises at the Dynamite show. We got like 7 run-ins.
7 run, yeah, it literally was. Hey, I didn't get Judas. I was a little upset with that.
Right. Yeah, we didn't get the full Judas intro from Jericho. That the crowd was hyped for it. You know what I'm saying? But we did get to see Cody Rhodes. You know what I'm saying? They did get to see
CM Punk.
To a loud pop, CM Punk, and then Ruby Soho, who's also a West Lafayette native, Indiana native. She You know what I'm saying? She got a huge pop and brought out some of her family and whatnot. Hell, shout out to the guy. Also, guy, how can I forget? Shout out to the guy who beat cancer. Shame on me, I cannot remember his name.
Yeah.
What's his name? Tony. I can't remember.
I think it's Tony.
It began with a T. Yeah. But yeah, they brought him in. I mean, it was kind of friend friendly. They brought him into the ring. I couldn't imagine. He took a selfie with Tony Khan and the wrestlers, man. I thought that was kind of cool. But for the most part, and then, oh my goodness, how could I forget about the great spot that
Leo Rush
did off the top rope. No. But yeah, I get to him too. He had a great. I'm talking about. Oh my God, what is her name? Shame on me, man. Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa had a great spot off the top rope into the floor. So again, very entertaining. Like, and then Leo Rush came out there dressed like a Power Ranger. But for a little guy who probably weighs $119, he puts on a great match. And so does what's the guy from the Dark Order? What's his name? John. John Silver.
Yep.
John Silver, who's also about 5'4". Yeah, who's also about 5'4", but built like a little something, like a thumbtack. You know what I'm saying? Again, they put on great. You know what? QT Marshall, Brandon, like I could do. You know what? If it don't work out with him in AEW, I can see him going over to the other side and becoming a top heel. Man, that dude got a lot of, like, people were booing him. Like, he got a lot of he got a lot of natural. You want to boo his face anyway. He's got that kind of face,
right?
Like, dude, you want to hate him. But I'm not saying I'm saying he's being underutilized here in AEW. I know he was at one point, maybe about a couple months ago, he was in a big feud with Cody. I don't necessarily think it was, you know, saying set up right, but I could see him going over. But like, no, man, but the one thing I did kind of got back from the whole show is Tony Khan. Vince, it's not like, you know, and I hate to compare it. It's not like Vince doesn't come out there and talk to the people, but usually Vince kind of comes out there and talks to you in character, right? He's Mr. McMahon. There's some type of conflict between him and some other wrestler or whatever, him being some type of matchmaker, you know what I'm saying? Tony Khan came out there like a teenage boy that wanted to please everybody and put on some great matches. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of feel like kind of guy from Tony Khan. I'm not saying that just because, you know what I'm saying, he's a billionaire or anything like that. I'm just saying that from my lens, that's what he looks like. He looks like an exuberant little kid that just wants to, you know what I'm saying, entertain people for that particular event, wants to put smiles on people's faces. And then there was, like I said, there was a lot of smiles on people's faces, like last night. The night that we went, the Tuesday night, the Wednesday night that we did. So outside of that, man, I thought it was, you know what I'm saying, if you want me to grade the show, I gave it somewhere in the B category.
Yeah.
Type of show again. You know what I'm saying? For me, not necessarily seeing Sting come out.
You about marked out when the lights went out.
Or even Darby Allin, who I've never seen before live in person. You know what I'm saying? Kind of wanted to, you know what I'm saying? These are
we did.
MJF.
We saw him fight the first time they were here.
Oh, right. I'm talking about. I missed this time.
Right.
But you didn't see MJF either. Who remarked about your $5 haircut?
Yeah, I forgot about that. Oh, it's a $27 haircut.
No, man, great. No, I'm sorry, but right. But like, good show. And then the follow up they had this weekend, like you alluded to, had a lot of surprises or a lot of things that, you know what I'm saying, people kind of expect to have. Hangman Page won his first AEW world title. And then my guy, who I've been wanting to come, you know what I'm saying, Mr. Impact or Mr. Ring of Honor, Jay Lethal, you know what I'm saying, as Ring of Honor kind of has kind of fallen by the wayside. He's now over. He's now all elite. Jay Lethal, all elite. Dude, you have Brandon.
Is he still doing the flare?
That's what I'm saying. I'm starting to get this. No, Brandon. He also does the Macho Man Randy Savage. You know this, right?
Yeah.
Black Machismo.
Yes.
Yeah. So he does both. I think though he has to have clearance to do them both, and probably from the families and not necessarily WWE, if that makes sense.
Right.
So we'll see. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of heat about Flair kind of coming over. Those things might still be in play once, you know what I'm saying, the smoke clears about You know what I'm saying? Whatever happened on the airplane ride from hell, right? But like, no, I think they're gonna do some cool things with Jay Lethal. And like you said, it's going to be interesting to see kind of what happens with Kenny Omega. Does he go on sabbatical? You know what I'm saying, as a lot of wrestlers do, or does he end up starting a feud with somebody else?
Yeah, and you had a lot of good things to say about the Acclaimed on Wednesday night as well. You did.
Well, they're entertaining guys. You're talking about Max Caster. Max Caster comes down there and raps just like John Cena used to do. But Max Caster is a heel, so he's dissing. He comes down there dissing his opponent. He actually got in trouble. He got 30-day suspension because he said something that he wasn't supposed to. He called the bunny something unflattering during one of his raps. But like now they're entertaining him and his partner. But like I said, man, no, great show. If AEW coming to your town,
I was upset your girl didn't show up.
Who's that?
Jade Cargill.
No, she was here. She was. I mean, do I follow her online? I don't know if that's stalkerish or not. But I thought, no, she was saying that she was going to show up or whatever, and you know what I'm saying. The hell they take the AEW Dark.
She probably thought you were there, so that's why she probably knew it.
Oh man, don't get me in trouble. I'm 100% fine. Fiance now.
Oh, she'll kick. Jay Cargill will kick your ass.
Yeah, but no, man. I thought it was a good show. I see the difference. Here's what I will say, and I kind of cap my tail about my piece about AEW versus WWE. WWE. The reason why we kind of talked about how you might see more people at a WWE show. WWE still kind of caters to an age group, an age category that's probably between 10 and 15. And I would say AEW is strictly 17 and up type of deal. You know what I'm saying?
And a lot of people from the sticks, based on who we were sitting here.
Dude, a lot of people rocking Daryl from Walking Dead clothing. A lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Missing T.
Getting into it.
I'm not gonna say inbred, but you know what I'm saying. Look like I would have to ask, man. Is your mother and father? Did they grow up in the same household? You know what I mean? As brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? But it was some real interesting people there. But like I said, man, you know what I'm saying? It's a little bit of an older crowd that kind of goes to AEW.
Yeah, we and based on last night's Raw, that was also here in Indianapolis that we did not go to, but from everything I looked at it today, we didn't miss a thing. So, especially when your main event is Rey Mysterio against Bobby Lashley, and that's your main event.
Damn, is it 2005?
That was your main event.
I think I saw that before. Right. Yeah. Wow.
So,
well,
other than that, John, I don't have anything else. We can finish the show.
Well, dude,
what you got?
I don't need to, man. I went down all, you know what I'm saying, all the points I had in my little notebook area. Shame on us, man. When we start talking about football, we never did talk about the NFC.
Yeah.
We talked about the AFC.
By the way, real quick, sorry, before I lost my stat. During your and D-Cot going back and forth, I forgot to tell D-Cot, I just found an interesting stat about his Alabama Crimson Tide. John, can you tell me the last time Alabama played a game in the regular season above the Mason-Dixon line?
Ooh. Were we still in the 90s?
2010. 2010.
Okay.
And do you think they won or lost that game?
I'm going to say they won.
Well, they lost, and they haven't played above the Mason-Dixon since. So.
Who they lose to?
Ooh. I knew you were going to ask that question. I don't have that.
We'll find that.
While you're talking about NFC, go ahead. I'll find it.
No, man, but dude, we talked about the AFC. I know that, you know what I'm saying, NFC, Cowboys leading the East, Cardinals leading the West, Packers leading the North, Buccaneers leading the South. I think, you know, of those four teams, the Packers are probably still playing the best, even with the Aaron Rodgers controversy. You know what I'm saying? The Cardinals are a little banged up with their star quarterback. I think I don't know. I still don't know how it's kind of going to shake out once as the season progresses and you know what I'm saying, playoffs kind of start. But if you had to ask me right now who the two best teams in the NFC are right now, I'm going with the Cardinals. And I'm still going with the Cardinals and the Packers. The Cardinals got to get healthy.
Yeah, they do. They.
Other than that, why are you still looking up, man? Do I need to start sending my thank yous out now?
I can't find it. It wasn't 2010, by the way. I guess it was earlier than that. I'm just trying to figure out which day it was.
Oh, shoot. It probably was the 90s then, man. Goodness gracious, man. Dude, so I would say we had a wonderful show, man. I appreciate everybody chiming in. I've seen a lot of folks, a lot of our normal folks, from Justin Powell to Mika Borders and D. Cott, you know what I'm saying, chiming in on the Facebook Live feed. I shame on Reggie, you know what I'm saying, for not calling in. He's probably scared to call in, Brandon. He's been scared with that Miles Turner talk and criticizing the Colts talk. Like I said, I thought he would call in, but
I was wrong.
No, man, I think
they did play. They did win. They did win. It was at Penn State, 2011.
Okay. That's the last time they played above the Mason.
Your brother, Michigan, Georgia ain't played above the Mason-Dixon since 1965.
They must have.
Well, I take that back. They just did. This is not updated. This is not updated because in 2017 they did play at Notre Dame. Remember?
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Some people are put on watch. Just saying.
They put them on a watch.
Yeah. So go ahead, finish yourself.
No, man. I just want to say thank you to our everybody who chimed in on Facebook Live. I also want to say thank you to D-Cop for calling in. Man. And how can we do this? How can we do cross support with our sponsors? Scott K. Nichols State Farm Insurance, Three Wiseman Logistics, and Mavericks Mavericks. It's a tongue twister, bro. It's Mavericks Custom Motorsports. How can we do cross support without our sponsors? Everybody listen to my voice. Check out their service. Click on the links that we have on our social media and on our Facebook, on all our social media, whether Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Check out the products and the services that our sponsors have to offer. You might find something. You might find a nice Christmas gift for somebody. I never heard nobody give anybody insurance or for Christmas, but dude, you never know. You know what I'm saying? They could, like I said. And dude, hell, even Mavericks is hiring down in Florida.
Yep.
Everybody looking for a job in the Florida market, in the Miami area. Like I said, even they're looking for. I got positions open. So again, man, short show this week. It is what it is. We
10 minutes. That's not too short.
There's one to cover.
Oh, I got one last thing for you. It said it's only 10 minutes, but I got one last thing for you. So your friend came back onto Twitter this week, but I have not seen any interactions with him. Some people have said that since he's been back on, you've been ducking him. That's just what I've been told.
Well, I haven't been listening to Dan Doctor's show, but I don't know. I'm glad he's back on Twitter.
You listen to Outkick yet?
Absolutely not. Sound like he's a liar.
Uh-oh.
Because he said he'd never go back to Twitter. You know what I'm saying? But he must be back on his happy pills, and I'm happy for him.
So, just stop.
I'm sure we'll kick it. I'm sure me and him will kick it real soon. So we'll see.
Perfect. Well, John, thanks for joining us once again. It was another great show. We'll kick it back again next week, I believe. Possibly. Thanksgiving show, possibly. Coming up next week, I believe we will do on Wednesday night. We'll be back to our normal night on Wednesday before Thanksgiving, unless me and John decide to go to the Lakers game. We'll see. Other than that, John, I'm going to steal your line this time from everybody listening for Crossroads, all our sponsors, all our people on Facebook Live. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening to the Crossroads Sports Radio Show. You can find more episodes on iTunes and the Google Play Store.